What's up, guys? Welcome to our channel, Honest Hockey Takes. I'm Hohen and this is Scott.
Today we're going to talk to you guys about something that we just can't hold back about anymore. And that is the resurgence of Erik Karlsson.
Yeah, he came back from the dead.
This guy literally came back from the dead. I swear for the last 2-3 seasons, he was pretty much invisible. But this year, he has come out with a vengeance to start this season. The guy has played 14 games and scored 10 goals and has 9 assists for 19 points. Not only is he a point per game, he's like almost closer to like a point and a half per game. It's actually incredible.
Yeah, this is funny because I feel like ever since Brent Burns left this team, he got better. And the funny part is Brent Burns left the team, he got better there as well. So it's a win-win.
It kind of worked out for both these players because, I mean, it's really hard when you're both really good offensive defensemen and your primary strength is making beautiful passes and scoring goals. And you have to share with each other when there's only one power play one. And now Karlsson's got this all to himself. And he gets to play his 25 minutes a night right now, which is kind of insane. 32-year-old. I mean, he's not that old, but I mean, still 25 minutes a game is nothing to scoff at. And he's putting up just insane offensive production right now. The likes we haven't even really seen. This is actually even better statistically than how Roman Josi and Cale Makar started last season.
Yeah, it's crazy. The last game they played against, I believe, the Florida Panthers, he put up like over 30 minutes of ice time. Isn't that crazy? And
he's been some games dominant. He just goes absolutely crazy and plays over half.
He throws like 7 shots on net, 6 shots, 7 shots on net, just throws everything on net. I love it.
Yeah, I was going to say, this guy's averaging over 3 shots a game right now on top of that production with the goals.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy to imagine. I think right now he's actually still top 5 as of today in goals. That's crazy.
I think Erik Karlsson just didn't like that baby Cale Makar got all the hype, so he's like, no, I gotta show this boy what's up. So
it kind of reminded him. He's like, oh, wait a minute. Back in the day, that was me.
That was me.
I was the defenseman who flew up the ice. I was really fast and made these plays.
I gotta show my son how to actually do this properly.
Yeah, take a seat, Junior.
Take a seat.
It's Erik Karlsson time, guys. Like, you take a seat right now. But I mean, going back, like looking back on his career, when he was like in his prime, this guy was pretty close to a point per game most years. And then he did have his career high in 2015, 2016, where he hit exactly, this is an incredible stat, I love this, 82 points in 82 games. But even in that season, what's actually so crazy, and it kind of makes this season look even more wild, is that in the season where he had the 82 and 82, he had 16 goals and 66 assists. So 16 goals in a full 82 game season, and he has 10 in 14 right now.
My most memorable memory about Erik Karlsson will always be the year where he carried that team to the Stanley Cup final. Oh my gosh, he looked
right before they lost in Game 7 to Pittsburgh.
Right, that's right. And man, he was so dominant in that.
18 points in 19 playoff games, like crazy.
He was dominant. He was like single-handedly carrying that team to that far into the playoffs, and he's a defenseman. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, on paper, that Ottawa team was not very good.
Yeah,
and he, along with a bit of help from his buddy Mark Stone at the time, they really carried that team hard. Like, this was not a team that was supposed to be taken toe-to-toe with the Pittsburgh Penguins here. A team that was, like, pretty much consistently always making it deep in the playoffs. Yeah, it's actually a little sad, though, for Erik Karlsson. It's almost like what could have been for his entire career if he didn't have a couple of those down seasons. A lot of those down seasons, though, did come due to having injury problems and having that foot issue he had. And it really sucks because starting about the year after in 2018-19 season, he really started to miss like 30 games a year most of the seasons after that, minus the COVID season he played most of. But his numbers were nowhere near the same, especially once he got traded to the San Jose Sharks. That was quite a fall off for him. A lot of people would criticize him, especially because he was making $11.5 million, which, to be fair, unless he literally puts up the numbers he's put up to start this season, $11.5 million is a joke, and it is too much for anybody. Like, that's crazy, especially when you consider guys like Cale Makar only making $9 million.
Yeah, I was really surprised when Doug Wilson gave him that contract. Ottawa got Josh Norris in that trade, and he's a terrific player on that other side. But Erik Karlsson, yeah, I feel like the injury really hampered him last season or a couple years. And last couple years, especially last season, he had a really career low. I've never seen him dip that low in his career before. And his last 3 seasons almost combined for -50. Like, he just wasn't good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so one knock I've personally always had for Erik Karlsson is I never knocked for the longest time, especially in Ottawa in the early days, how good he was offensively. I always kind of thought, though, at times he was almost like a defenseman with a forward symbol, or a forward with a defenseman symbol slapped to his like name, because he would always be the guy to jump up on the rush. But this was a guy who didn't necessarily always play the best in his own zone and has pretty much been minus most of his career.
Yeah, no offense, but he really reminds me of the current Quinn Hughes right now. Quinn Hughes,
the way
yeah,
he's always
yeah. Quinn
kinda
Hughes
like
to
that,
me
yeah.
is like a forward that's playing on defense.
But surprisingly, what's crazy about this is he started plus to this year. Of all the years, he's plus this year with the San Jose Sharks, one of the league's bottom teams. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, because I think it really helps him that he is the guy now. This is his team now, and I think you can really tell how much confidence he has back there, carrying that puck, moving that puck on the power play. He looks extremely good. He looks the best. He looks like a Cal McCarr of last year. Like, he looks Cal McCarr good.
It is actually debatable if this is actually the best version of Erik Karlsson we have ever seen overall as a defenseman. His skating has seemed to get back closer to what it was after those foot injuries, because I noticed from like 2018 on to like last year, his skating pace was not exactly there. He wasn't moving as quickly as he used to. He didn't have that like electric feel to his game. It was more just like, okay, yeah, you're still good, but like, are you really that great? Like,
Yeah.
and this year he's flying. He's back.
Yeah, it feels nice. I feel happy for the San Jose Sharks fan base for that, because it must suck for their fan base to see this guy get signed to that big contract, ridiculous contract. At least now this year they get to see a real Erik Karlsson for once.
Funny story about this,
Yeah.
actually. He started the season, actually, which is even more crazy to think about his numbers. He started without getting very much success in his first 2 games. And then he went home after they were in Europe for the first 2 games. And he immediately got booed on introduction. Like, what a fall off for a guy who used to be a 2-time Norris winner in Ottawa. He was getting booed this year by the San Jose Sharks fans because they're just like, we're paying this guy $11.5 million. His production hasn't been there. He's clearly fallen off, and we feel robbed. But you know what? After those boos is exactly when Erik Karlsson transformed into the menace he's been the last like 12 games.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, this contract is still a terrible contract. It will never.
Oh,
he will never.
You can't justify 11.5.
Yeah.
That's almost as bad as when Shea Weber got that money.
He will never be this like $11.5 million worth, and especially with the amount of years that he's got left on his contract.
To do that, you pretty much have to get 110 points.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, even 80 points. I feel like this might be his best year left. Personally, I think this is his last hurrah. I honestly think so.
I mean, he is 32, so he's not
Yeah.
actually that old.
He's
it all
not.
comes down to if he can stay healthy.
Yeah.
That is the biggest thing we're waiting to see from Erik Karlsson this year, because I think if he does stay healthy and plays 82 or even say 75 games or more, this could be his career best season.
Yeah, let's hope so. I would like to see a 90-point Erik Karlsson, one last for old time's sake here.
It is a really good feel-good story because no one wanted to see him get hurt. Everybody loved this guy when he was in Ottawa. He was very popular around the league, like with other players, with fans, like all around, likable guy, right? Like everyone loved Erik Karlsson.
I believe Erik Karlsson didn't want to leave the Ottawa Senators either, right? I believe
He had that problem.
Yeah.
The drama started with his wife and
yeah,
Hoffman's
right,
wife,
Hoffman, right.
and that really pushed him out of town, basically, after Hoffman was already pushed out.
right.
Yeah, it was a big debacle.
But I heard that the owner was also really cheap at the time.
Oh, yeah, they weren't. You think they were going to pay him that
And
money?
they weren't gonna pay him $11.5 million.
Dude,
I'll tell you that.
No one gets paid in Ottawa.
Yeah.
That's like one of no offense to Ottawa fans, nothing to do with the fans.
Which
But the owner is cheap, or he was cheap.
yeah, it was cheap. Which really
R.I.P.
which really surprised me when they paid Brady Tkachuk all that money. I was like, whoa, they're paying him a lot of money. I was
But
like,
you have to say, once the owner, R.I.P.,
Right.
they were starting to hand out contracts left, right, and center, man. These guys were making it rain. They were
it's
spraying.
like, Josh Norris, you want a lot of money? Okay, we'll give this to you.
And you get 8 mil. And you
You
get,
get
8 mil. And you get 8 mil.
mil.
Like, it was just, everybody got paid, baby. Everybody got paid.
Next one, Shane Pinto. How much you want? $5 million? Okay, you get $5 million.
It's crazy, man. Everyone's gonna like be having these pockets that are just like out to here by the end of this next couple of years with new management. You know, it's crazy. Good to see, though. I mean, hey, it's nice for the players to get paid. So
Yeah.
So, Owen.
Yeah, what's
A
up?
little more serious now. I know we had some fun there.
Yeah.
Got to get real with you. What do you think is a realistic chance that Mr. Erik Karlsson, 2-time Norris winner, becomes Erik Karlsson, 3-time Norris winner this year?
No chance.
You don't think so?
No.
Not possible, hey?
I feel like the team that he's playing on, there's so many other good defensemen in the league. Like, I feel like Cal McCarr is going to pick it up. I feel like a lot of the other, don't get me wrong, I shouldn't say no chance. He's having a really good start. He's leading all the defensemen by a long ways right now. When these players, I feel like the first 10 to 20 games of the season, it's hard to predict how they're going to do throughout the season, because after 20 games, the games get a lot tougher. But I still see Erik Karlsson sustaining close to a point per game. But I feel like there's other really good defensemen in the league.
I'll tell you one thing, and I really believe this, and this is from a guy, I will tell you guys straight up, I have never been an Erik Karlsson fan, mainly because I like, as you've seen from other videos, those stay-at-home defensemen who are more sturdy in their own zone, more than the offensive flashy guy. But given the way that the league has started to give out the Norris Trophy and how much emphasis has been based on points, if you look at the last 3-4 years and the nominees, I'm not saying he's going to win the award, but I honestly think he's going to be one of those 3 nominees this year.
Yeah, I think he can be nominated
because
for sure.
That offense, believe it or not, runs through him.
Yes.
Like, even though he's a defenseman, it's just like back in Ottawa. Like, it's not like Timo Meier or Thomas Hertl or Logan Couture is taking over the offense for this team.
But it
runs through Karlsson.
But this is my question for you, though. We all know that San Jose Sharks are not going to make the playoffs this year. Wouldn't they have to be in playoff contention to be considered?
No? That's not usually how it is, no.
No?
If you look at Ottawa was never that... Like, once they lost, like, Alfredson and Spezza and those guys, and they kind of were doing that transition period,
right?
That's kind of when they had Erik Karlsson putting up these 70-point seasons, 80-point seasons.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm not saying he's going to win the award, guys, because keeping this pace up is probably unsustainable for the whole year, but I don't think he's going to fall off as much as people think, and I think that this is actually going to be a really solid year for Erik Karlsson overall.
I think he'll have a good season. Best season he's probably had in the last 5 years. I'll say ever since the San Jose Sharks. I can say.
Oh yeah, no, this is his. Yeah. Without a doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
As long as he doesn't get hurt.
Yeah.
This is going to be his best season in San Jose, and I think fans are finally going to get off his back a bit.
Yeah, let's hope so.
But I can't wait to see it, and I look forward to the rest of the season to see what he can actually manage to accomplish, because this is pretty much a historic start, and I wish the best for Erik Karlsson.
Yeah. Wish you the best. But I think that's all we have for this video.
Yep, that's all we got.
We will see you in the next video very, very soon. But until then, we'll see you next time.